Page 6, theme from Fourth Symphony by Mendelssohn. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I encourage you to go listen to an orchestra recording of this. It's great. At the top of the page, introducing you to slurs and phrases. The marks for slurs and phrases, I've already been talking about them. But I want to get into them in detail, but I want to wait until I get to the articulation part of this video. So we'll come back to slurs and phrases. This piece, 6/8 times, so an eighth note gets a count. I gotta count to 6, but an eighth note gets a count. No sharps or flats. We're in the key of C major. So please go do my scale video on C major, intermediate level, 2 octaves up and down. And while you're there, do the one on A minor also. It's a different video. 2 octaves up and down. I explain it all in the video, so you can look at that. Let's cover this one hand at a time. Make sure we have the notes in the fingering. I got suggestions on fingering. I don't know about their fingering, but let's talk about it. We're coming in on beat 6 because there's a bit, well, there's 5 beats in the last measure. If you look over there, it's fine. So thumb here, we're in this position. So it's 6, 1, 2, 3. And remember, a dotted quarter note is the same as 3 eighth notes. Doesn't matter what the time signature is, it's always the same as 3 eighth notes. So how long it gets depends on how long an eighth note gets, or a quarter note gets, whatever. Here, an eighth note gets a count, so a dotted quarter note gets 3 counts. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring the thumb down, and that dotted quarter note tied to an eighth note, that's 4 counts. It's like 2 quarter notes put together. And you come in here and you lift up and move, just move down during the rest. Third finger. 1, stretch out. You're going to be in this position. It's a broken chord. 1, 2, 3. You don't have to keep your hands on all these notes. You can collapse as you go up, because now we're going to go into this position. Another chord, broken chord. So we're here to here, but you can collapse the hand as you do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really the hardest part of the rhythm, right there. It's no big deal. Going on, your thumb, 1, 2, 3. I don't see anything really hard about any of this. Let's go down to the bottom of the page, page 6. Last 2 measures. You're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they've got second finger. I don't know how they do that if you have fourth finger here, because you end up with thumb. So I don't understand the fingering there. But as far as I'm concerned, just leave it here and play that G with the thumb. So again, the last 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. And instead of the thumb, I suggest you use third finger. Just stay here. You're just coming up to here. Here, and use 5. And then at the top of page 7, after the dotted quarter note, then you can scrunch up and use thumb. And you're in position. But I just went from here to here, just kind of crawling around. So the last measure, it was here. And then thumb, or third finger, and then thumb. I find that much easier than what they're trying to. I don't like using the jumping around like that when I don't have to. You have to sometimes, but not here. Let's go down to the 3rd line on page 7. You're way up here, high, high C, and the 4th finger. And then scrunch up for little finger. See, the idea is we want to get our hand as low as possible. If we use 3rd finger here and then scrunch, it's awkward. So use 4th finger on the A. Now 5th finger, your 2nd. And again, same thing. So forth. Left hand. Broken chords. C chord. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And this fun. 5/7 chord or G7 chord. And the second line, second measure is the 4 chord or the F chord. And on these when you're pushing two notes, try and get them down at the same time if you can. I'm just lowering the hand on this, so I'm rolling the hand from this side to this side, and as I come down, try and get both down at the same time. I'm not very good at that, but you can work. Now at the end of the second line, I recommend, rather than 3-1, I recommend you reach up here and we go into an extended position. Use 2-4 or 4-2 here. This way you're closer. Here you can do 1, third line, 1, then 4. Again, and this time it's an F sharp. And then reach down, third finger. It's just, these other fingers let me move around and I can feel my way around the keyboard. I don't have to look down at the piano after I know it because I can feel this. So again, the second line last measure, I'm recommending 4-2 on that one. And then I can just thumb for the third line, and then fourth finger. And I'm in position. So forth. The last line, your third finger on that, you just reach down. And they're saying fourth finger, that's fine, you gotta rest. It's not far. You back there. Put the hands together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Now that C and the last note on the second line is by itself. So but here in the third line down, second measure, it's not by itself. You're holding the left hand down. But at the end of the line it is. The left hand has a rest again. Watch out on these rests in the left hand. Make sure you get them all. So forth. And you go back and you work out the hesitations. You can go slow, just work out the hesitations. And once you have that, then as far as articulation goes, not a lot going on except for the slurs that they're telling you up above. You see this curved line has several different uses in music and it gets confusing sometimes. So if you look at the first line here, above the top staff, you see a curved line going over most of the line. That is covering a phrase. It's telling you where the phrase is. A phrase is a musical sentence. See, we talk in sentences. We're going to have short sentences. We have really long, drawn-out sentences that you don't even want to listen to. But nevertheless, music is the same way. It's in sentences, and that's what this is. Just one sentence. And then another sentence. Another sentence. And so here they're showing you the sentences with these lines. Look at the left hand. You have a curved line over each set of notes in a measure. This here. And there's a curved line for each measure. Those are slurs. It's the same curved line, but different. So sometimes it's hard to tell. Is the curved line pointing out a phrase, or is it pointing out a slur, or something else? Well, you have to figure it out. Now, here, the top staff, the curved line is pointing out a phrase. In the bottom staff, the curved line is pointing out a slur. And you're going to lift up between if you want. Necessary, but you can. See, we don't always lift up before and after a slur. We usually lift up before and after a phrase, so you can tell it's a phrase, except sometimes you got phrases that come together. In that case, you have to connect them. I suggest for this piece, you just connect the left hand all the way through. Except for the rest. disagree with their slurs in the left hand here, but the phrases in the right hand, you can lift up there. Of course, you have rest, so that helps to lift it. You got to lift up for the rest. Now, a little more on phrases in case you're not bored yet. They don't always mark the phrases in music. Sometimes there's nothing. It's nice when they mark it, and sometimes they mark it incorrectly. The phrases, you have to question them. If there's words in the music, like singing and going on, you can usually follow the sentences in the words or the clauses. So you look for a comma or a semicolon or a period or something, and that tells you where a phrase ends and another one begins. Sometimes that works too. You have to be a little exploring and investigating it sometimes to figure out where the phrases are. Now, you don't always connect the notes in a phrase. You can have staccato notes, disconnected notes inside a phrase. So in that first line, even though with all the curved line going over it could have had staccatos in it. I could have put a staccato on the quarter note. See? It's still a phrase, so you have to watch out for that. Phrases don't necessarily connect the notes. They're just pointing out where the musical thought is. It has to do with interpreting the music. We have to learn how to interpret music. And in a phrase, you shape the phrase. So it's like sentences. You come down at the end. Come down a little bit, then you take off. Come down, so it's with each one. So you shape the phrases. You got to get to know the music well enough that you can get into it and start feeling it. And your phrases, you'll start feeling the phrases. So that's the articulation. Phrasing and slurring is articulation. Well, slurring is articulation. Phrasing is more into interpreting the music. Then the dynamics. Well, the dynamics apply to the melody. In this case, it's the right hand. They want it loud, whatever you think loud is. It's not super loud, it's just loud. And then when you get to the end of the second line, it's very soft. It's like an echo here. And a little louder, but still soft. A little louder, it's moderately soft. Now moderately loud. And you back up to loud. It's like you just went through a long crescendo. Rather than just telling you crescendo, they actually gave you the different dynamic levels. And that's fine too. And so that by the time you get to the last note on page 6, you're loud again like you were at the beginning. And you're staying loud pretty much for the whole of page 7 except at the end. The last line or the pickup to the last line, you go up to very loud. You just finish it off. That's like the climax of the piece right there. Left hand, keep it in the background. We don't want to hear it. Then you get soft, a little louder, a little louder, a little louder, now back up to loud. So that's basically the dynamics. You got to get to know it well enough that you can feel the dynamics, where you're feeling this and that, you're feeling that crescendo. You force it at first to kind of get it, but you get into where you just feel it. Speed-wise, this is quick. You're feeling this in 2. You're not really counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. I don't have time for that. I mean, even the metronome marking they're showing you is for not a quarter note, and that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh. That's a quick piece. Now on top of all that, they've added pedal. And once again, I completely disagree with their pedaling. Completely. I can't believe they're doing it this way. They're pedaling to connect between the slurs. You want to connect that. Well, you can connect that with the hands. You don't need the pedal. But The pedaling, the way they're doing it, it's very concerned. I would not pedal it this way. Please don't pedal it this way. If you're going to pedal it again, pedal the first beat of the measure and leave it at that. See, they want you to pedal it this way. That's completely backwards. Pedal the first beat of the... Don't pedal this part. See, the idea of pedal adds overtones to the sound. Well, when you get down quiet, you don't want all those overtones. You would settle it down until you get to the top of page 7. Then maybe you can pedal the first beat again. Well, actually, it's the first 3 beats. There, and then at the end, the last measure, pedal the whole measure up. So it's a so forth, yeah. However, you don't need pedal on this. You can leave the pedal out completely. It's fine. It kind of needs to bounce along in the right hand, even though the left hand's legato. Now for the play with me, I'm going to leave the pedal out because I don't think it's necessary in this piece at all. I'm going to play it really, really super slow, no dynamics or nothing. I'll give us 5 counts. Let's just go over it together to make sure we have the notes and the rhythms correctly. Now I put the metronome on 8th notes, so it's beating 8th notes. So I'll give us 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2. Rest, 2, 3.